business and mid-sized businesses. Also consulting companies with $2 to $20 million in revenue. Well, we can't use you anymore because we're at 21. She's going. Okay, cool. She has she has 20 years experience in the corporate world plus another 15 elevating entrepreneurs and believes that small and mid-sized businesses deserve access to high-level financial management talent to chart their path to success and profitability. Was that a run-on sentence or was that a good one? I don't know. All right, cool. She's she's the right hand to CEOs and business owners, and by the way, she does help investor schooling. She's a money finder. Do you pick up pennies? All right, cool. And she reveals the story behind the numbers. Give me a hand for Patty Lawrence. Are you okay holding a mic?
I can multitask.
We kind of
Hold that and the clicker.
That's okay. There you go. There's the clicker.
I can figure it out.
All you have to do is click start and it will hopefully.
Click start. Where do I point it?
Just, no, you don't point it anywhere. Just click it. Maybe. There we go. Try it now.
Click.
No,
there we go.
You can put it anywhere you want. Actually, here. Point it every single time at Phil. It
bounces right off of him.
It says a cancer-causing.
Oh
outbreak.
no, we don't want that. We want to keep him. We want to keep everybody.
No, you don't understand. He wants to go to Guadalajara.
Oh, okay.
For those of you guys who watch this presentation, you get it.
So I would say that one of the common themes that I've heard, and I had a previous commitment, so I wasn't here yesterday. I couldn't join you, but what I'm hearing is abundance mindset. So who would say that they do have an abundance mindset here? So I'm here. What's that? Trying. You're moving over? Moving to get there? What's that? Sorry. Like here? Okay. I don't want to trip over that thing. So that's, but I don't think I'm an insured. So one of the things that I do with my clients, our clients, because I'm the top of the heap at Turbo Execs, but what is really important is developing and elevating that money mindset, right? The abundance mindset. So that's what we want to continue to do, because what I want to do with you is make sure that you're keeping more of what you've earned, right? You're earning it. It's in your business. Maybe it's tied up in your business. We need to free it because we want to have cash, right? We want to have cash. We want to have a lot of it because there are lots of things to do with lots of cash, right? That's what we want. So what I wanted to start off with is, people have said, okay, Patty, what do you do, right? Well, I'm a CFO, and CFO is Chief Financial Officer. It's not a CPA. I'm going to differentiate what we do and why it's different from what a CPA does. CPAs are certified public accountants. So while we in the financial management world internally, we're internal to your company. We're not on the outside, we're on the inside. We're the right hand of CEOs. So what we're looking to do is we're leading the financial activities of your company. And we set policies and we think strategically, and what we're doing is trying to up-level the entire organization so that everybody is focused on making more money. More money in that operation is better, right? Can we do it more efficiently, better, faster, smarter, right? We're hearing all these great ideas Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Lots of great ideas about how do you get more money? How are we going to be smarter about getting the money and keeping the money and growing the money? Those are some of the things we do. We do that with our business owner partners. We have an operational focus, whereas a CPA, they're looking at it from the outside. They're a member of your team because there's that tax thing that has to happen, right? Every year you have to file taxes. So they're on board for that activity and hopefully for tax planning purposes, because you want to be able to have a plan Like, no, okay, if I'm going to come in with this much income this year, what's my potential tax bill? What do I have to kind of have set aside for that? Because we want to make sure that we have that cash available. We don't want to go, oh shit, I got this big tax bill, and what am I going to do? Like, I'm in a pinch, right? I don't want to have to sell off stuff. I don't want to have to flip a house before it's done. I don't want to have to get rid of one of my assets, right? Income producing assets. I want to be in a good position to be able to figure that out, or know what's coming at me, right? No surprises. Like, who likes surprises other than for a birthday or something like that? Who likes those kind of I don't know about you. I hate bad surprises. I don't like that shit, right? Oh, there's a cop over the next hill. I drove in from Lancaster, so I'm a little ways away. So I have to drive the turnpike. Man, I don't want to know that there's somebody sitting on the other side because I have a lead foot. That's a bad surprise for me. So let's not go there, right? So that's the main difference between CFO inside, CPA outside. Outside looking at historicals. And I'm not bashing any CPAs. There are great CPAs out there, but CPAs don't necessarily do what CFOs do, because it's a totally different focus. Think about it in the medical world, right? Do you, for a toothache, are you going to a podiatrist? What's a podiatrist specialize in? Feet. Yeah, you're not going to go, you're not going to go there. I got a toothache, right? I'm going to go see the podiatrist. Oh, shit. They're going to look at you like, clown, hey, you're at the wrong place, right? CPAs, it's no different, okay? We're both financial professionals, but practice in different areas. So our areas of expertise are different, okay? Let's see, what else? And the last thing is both integral to your team, right? Gotta have it. So if you have a toothache, you go to the dentist, you have a dentist. If you have a foot problem, you go to the foot doctor, right? You do go to the podiatrist. They're both on your team. We're both on your team. Next one. Let's just have a little CFO chat about your business, right? Tell me, is what you're doing today a hobby, or is it a line of business for you? It's a business. I like that answer. Who says it's a hobby? Hobby? Nope. Great, that's the right answer. So run it like a business. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, what does this mean, Patty? You're going to lecture us? No, I'm going to give you great insight. What should you be doing? Anybody? If you're running it like a business and not a hobby, what's the first thing you should do? Yes. Keep track of what you're doing. How do you do that? Keep records. Excellent. You had something. Yeah. Nope. Ed, sorry. Yes, separate accounts. Maintain separate checking accounts, bank accounts, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. Incorporate it, either LLC, S Corp, whatever you want to do. Make sure it's separate, right? We don't want to commingle. Commingling's for hacks, beginners, hobbies. Okay, so let's not do that. We're professionals around here. We're big girls and big boys, right? We're going to do it right. We're going to do it right from the beginning, because eventually your tax professional is going to ask you for those things, right? Your tax professional is going to go, all right, produce those records, right? For anything, you're going to have to produce the records. So let's get it right from the beginning and have those records separate. So separate bookkeeping, separate checking, savings, whatever you want to call it, separate banking accounts. I say just do it. So you're here, right? You're here. You're launching into or continuing your journey as an entrepreneur. A lot of you in real estate, investing. We've got both, the options trading and all of those things. What you need to do is you are here and you're getting education. That's a great first step, right? The second thing is now is as good a time as any to just get going, right? Just get going with it, right? Don't wait. Don't push it off, right? You're taking the first steps now. you've got probably 3 more in your head after this, at least 3, right? If you're paying attention, you probably got way more than that, and you got probably a whole notebook full of them, right? Of ideas of next steps. So when you get back home after this, do you have a to-do list? Do you have a follow-up list? What are your top 3 things that you're going to do after you finish up here? I'm going to challenge you to make that top 3, at least 3. You could put it top 10, but 3 you can really make some headway on, okay? So just do it. The next thing is, you want to set your money goals, all right? So you may have some goals in your head like, oh, let's see, I want to invest in I want to have X number of properties. By when? By when? What are those goals, right? Because those kind of goals also need to be quantified, right? So if you're going to say, I want 2 houses by, in 2 years, by the end of the 2nd year, what's it going to take to get there? What's that money path look like? How are you going to achieve that? Right? Things like, how much do you have to save to get there? Who do you need in your life to get you there? Do you need to level up in any areas, right? Do you need a new person, on your team to be able to go to that next level? What's the timeline, right? Is it 2 years? Is it next year? What does that look like? And I would say also, something is better than nothing in terms of goals. So start small, because you can do it. You just gotta set that little goal and get there a little bit at a time. Just chip away at it. Because we don't, eat the elephant all in one bite, right? So if you set those money goals, you can get there. Now, some people look at this and go, oh, Patty, no way. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Make a budget, right? Make a budget. What is a budget? Basically, does anybody know? What's a budget? Live within what you make, your means. Nope, you were just doing that. Okay. Ed? A spending plan. I love that. Did you Exactly. So what it is kind of like, okay, when you get in your car to come here for the first time, what did you use? GPS. Yeah, of course, it's a roadmap or GPS, right? In nowadays terms, right? In this century, it's GPS. Last century, it was a roadmap, right? Paper map. But it's a map on how do you get from where you are today to where you want to be, right? Because it's going to take some level of resources to get to where you need to be, to achieve those goals. It's got to be tied to your goals, right? It's exciting stuff. I mean, people are like, oh, dreading budgets. No, it's exciting because you're putting a plan together for your success. Think about it that way. Like, think about that abundance mindset. That's what you're doing. You're putting that into action. You're translating it. And it's really not as difficult as you think. If you look at some of the data that you probably have, nobody raised their hand about a hobby. So you guys are running like businesses. You've got some data. You've got some reports. All you gotta do is pull that and look at them. Pull them apart a little bit. You'll know what you need to do. I call it saving like a squirrel, right? Squirrels, they gather nuts one at a time, right? Because, that's all they can carry at a time. And they take them back to their nest. So what I say is start small. Start small, saving like a squirrel. And when you do that, you should look at the largest amount that you won't miss on a weekly, monthly, whatever basis that is. And when I say you won't miss it, like, it's not going to break your bank. Like, it's not going to prevent you from paying your mortgage. It's not going to prevent you from paying the electric bill or sending your kid to, camp or something, right? But what if you just said $100 a week? I won't miss it, setting it aside, right? And you just squirrel that away. Pretty soon, at the end of 52 weeks, at the end of a year, $5,200. Now, if you tried to do that all at once, it might be a little bit harder, or times 10, whatever your relative number is. I'm just trying to keep the math easy here. But sometimes it's not easy to get it all at once. But if you're squirreling it away a little at a time, makes it way easier, right? And how many of you do online banking? Yeah? Online banks make it so freaking easy, right? You can just set up this little recurring thing that says, boop, move it, out of sight, out of mind, right? Move it to another account so it's not in your operating account. It's not in your checking account where you don't see it every day. Because pretty soon that money adds up to real stuff that you can do big things with. So I want you to, consider that, because you'll never miss it. You'll never miss it. I mean, you'll know it's there, but it's kind of out of reach, just a little out of reach. Especially if you know that's tied to your goal, right? If that's tied to a goal, it's tied to the budget, guess what? It gets easier to just kind of let it be for a bit, right? Till you get it to the right number. And then that helps you achieve that next level of success, right? And your budget and your plan and your dream and your goal, check all those boxes. It's awesome. Let's see, the last one. Oh, I love this one. Alignment equals velocity. It's like, what the hell does that mean? Well, first of all, it's mindset. Mindset. So where is everybody's level of play around money, right? And success and abundance, right? Larry teaches a lot about abundance. He might not call it that, but he teaches a boatload about it. Sorry, I was going to say shitload. Which I can. But it all ties in, right? So we start with our mindset. Then we have some goals, right? Under that. We have a budget. How do all these things tie? Some guiding principles, because that's who we are, right? How do we think? Who do we surround ourselves with? What do we like? What do we not like, right? Alignment with those levels there. If everything's in alignment, you get to achieve your goals and dreams faster when they're in alignment. When all those things are in alignment, moon, sun, and stars, right? Everything in your universe is in alignment. You get to where you're going faster. You know why? Because there's nothing that's going to stop you. Nothing. You know what you want. You're going to resource it. You're going to save for it. You've got the goals. You've got the prize in mind. Everything lines up. Guess what? Go to town. So alignment, to me, alignment equals velocity, and that means you're going to get faster results. You're just not going to get the friction that's out there, right? Let that go. Shed it. Don't let it in. It's not in your plan, right? You got naysayers out there? Psst, push them aside. They say, oh, I heard about that. That doesn't really work. I'm like, okay, you can subscribe to that. I'm over here, right? I believe. All those things are in alignment. Let's go, right? We're taking off. One last thing. If you know what an income statement looks like, a P&L, at the top, very top line is revenue, right? So if you have rental properties, is rental income, right? Income. So that's what you take in. So one of these things, now I was at I just finished up like a 6-month course in cash and value management, company value management. And the guy that was teaching, he's an Aussie, and he had this saying, revenue is vanity. Okay, so the top line, because people brag about that shit all the time, right? Don't they? And it's such bullshit, right? I got an 8-figure business. I'm like, ooh, yeah, who cares? Who cares? Because profit is sanity. So tell me what your bottom line is, right? So I'll one up you. Great, you got an 8-figure business. I give a shit, right? What's your bottom line? Profit is sanity, right? That's like, whew, gotta have that, right? Because that keeps us grounded, right? But cash is where it's at. Cash is king. Cash flow is king. Cash flow is king. So you got to know, right? If somebody's BSing you about, oh yeah, I got an 8-figure business, yay. It's like, okay, how much cash? How much cash are you spending off of that business? You pay yourself, right? You pay yourself first. It's some important stuff. It's amazing to me how many people brag about that top line and they got nothing to show for it. And I know that's not any of you here because you're learning that cash flow is king. So I know we were bashing bankers earlier, but I like this little guy. But I want to talk to you about why bankers are important in our little ecosystem, okay? We can shun them at some point. We can outgrow them. I don't want to say shun them because they have their place, okay? I'm not a banker. I'm accounting all the way, but bankers can be in your court, okay? Especially as you're starting out, right? Because you can get access to money through these people, right? So I want you to kind of reevaluate your relationship with your banker if you have one. If you don't have one, get one. Don't go to Bank of America or Chase or any of those big ass banks because they don't give a rip. Okay? If you got a PPP loan, those of you got PPP loans, they, hopefully you got them from your smaller bankers because the community bankers and smaller bankers are the ones that give a shit about us. It's not the Chase and the Bank of America and the Wells Fargos. They don't give a shit. Okay? They want their big corporate customers. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you're in the state of New Jersey, everything, friends I have over here in Pennsylvania, they were making out with the PP to help their business. Murphy was destroying a third of the small businesses in New Jersey.
If you would have called me, I would have helped you get a PPP.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Absolutely.
Well,
they don't call me the money finder for no reason.
Knowledge is power.
I did.
Oh, sorry.
In a Pennsylvania bank. And just from a Pennsylvania bank because they knew me. They knew me. So my banker said, hey, any referral, Patty, from you, we don't care where they are. I mean, in the U.S. We don't care where they are in the U.S. We'll get them funded. And they did. Yes.
Patty, what's your opinion on, or what's your take on credit unions?
I love credit unions as long as they have, they're big enough to serve you. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that specific one, but I think credit unions are a great place to start, especially if they have a platform, especially online platform that can work for you. As long as they aren't, so remote that they can't take care of you. I don't personally. I have one client that has one. I mean, I work with clients across the U.S. So our clients are geographically dispersed. They're not all in, Pennsylvania. So I help everybody, with whatever banking situation they have. We can evaluate that with where they are and what what their needs are and what level of service they need, and try to match it up with the appropriate institution. Somebody had their hand up.
Yeah, what's a PPP loan?
Paycheck protection program. So that was in the early days of COVID to help businesses retain their employees during over the shutdowns. And the second round of it was for to help shore up working capital levels in businesses that had a decline in sales revenue in any quarter on a year-on-year basis between 2020 and 2019 comparatively. So a lot of places just had to shut down, and their sales went. So if they were down 25% or more, they were able to take advantage of that program. And those loans were forgivable, meaning they wrote them off. So it was free money. There were aspects of it that there were a ton of different areas that you had to qualify for and perform, if you will. And they were, it was basically shifting sand. People were guessing on what it was going to be, or trying to interpret what Congress was trying to legislate, and what the program was really supposed to be. And it wasn't until the forgiveness criteria came out that people actually said, "Oh, okay, that's what they meant." So yeah, a lot of it was open to interpretation, especially early on in the program. I think PPP funds are, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think they're pretty much done now. They're exhausted. Whatever Congress appropriated, they're done. But there are other funding mechanisms out there. There's EIDL loans if you had a reduction in sale revenue year on year. There are other programs. There were a lot of grant programs at the local levels, state and local levels, because they got CARES Act funding too. So they put their own programs together with those funds, depending on, there's certain geographic area, if they were heavily in industry or maybe real estate based, whatever it was. So back to reevaluate your relationship with your banker, because I think they have a place in this whole conversation. I don't want to just cast them aside, because they can bring benefit to the table for us. They can help fund your dream, right? One of those things in the goals, remember those goals hierarchy, they can help with that. They really can. And I want to make sure that, we take advantage of that. The third thing up there I have is be disciplined. And when we start talking about, utilizing credit cards and throwing credit cards into the mix and things like that, I want everybody to understand that is also risky, right? Because we want to make sure that's high cost money. I want everybody to go into all of these situations from a financial standpoint with eyes wide open. Eyes wide open means we know what the risks are, we know what the benefits are, and we're willing to take that risk. So I don't want you to know only half of the equation. I want you to know the whole equation, so that you can be disciplined in your choices and how you manage these things. Because, bank money, there's some strings attached, sure, but there's strings attached to other money as well. And you just have to know what the rules are, right? To be able to take full advantage of this and make it work for you. OPM, who knows what OPM is? I should know that. I should know you guys are all over that. So use other people's money responsibly, right? We're responsible individuals in this room. That's what we want to do, because when we do that, it opens the door to more availability as well. Okay, so we want to be responsible with the money that we're given or provided, what strings are attached, and do better. Let's do better with it and level up. The last thing that I have on there is, show those bankers your love, right? It's a relationship. And that's why I particularly like the smaller banks and institutions, because those institutions are the ones that are really invested in your geographic area and your community. They want you to buy those houses and flip them. They want that to be elevated, right? Because when you do that, you're increasing the value across the board, right? People want to come live there. They want to move into that neighborhood. They send their kids to the school. They pay the tax, the taxes are paid, right? You're able to do that. You're helping revitalize in those different areas. So help show them the love too. Hopefully they're showing you the love. That's what we want. I don't think I was at the end. But that's okay. I see the next one. All right, so I wanted to get into just real quick, budgeting. You guys are like scratching your head like, oh man, who, me? And Pedro, can somebody give me a high sign on the time? I got 15. I want to make sure I plan appropriately. I think I am. I'm on track, but I just want to make sure. Am I good? All right, thanks. So this is my friend Gru. Do you ever see this movie? So yeah, the Minions, Despicable Me. So Gru is like, what? Who, me? Budgeting? Not me. No, but yes, you. Because it's not that hard, right? What you're doing, all you're doing is setting targets, right? You can set a target. Pretty easy. Pick a number, but there's got to be some meaning behind it, right? And it's got to be strategic, right? What is it tied to? It's going to be tied to a goal, right? Does it support that strategy? Probably. Just think about it a little bit, and you'll figure it out. You'll put all of those points together. You'll connect the dots. And in real estate, you guys divest, you grow your assets, you grow your portfolio, and maybe you want to exit at some point. I think it's there. You want to exit at some point in time? That's all part of it. That's all part of the budgeting process, right? Because at some point, one of those is bound to happen. Think about your controllable variable. What can you control out of a budget, right? If you can control how much you charge on rent, yeah, I think you can. If you're the owner, sure you can. If you can control some of the other things, who do you bring in to help you? Maybe you have a property that you maintain. Maybe you need to have it out to bid for something, for lawn service or snow, because we have that around here sometimes. And renegotiation. That's the R word that I love. Who looks for opportunities to renegotiate? Anybody? Yes. That's fun. That should be fun. Because remember, in a negotiation, it's a relationship. There's no kind of win-lose, right? We're talking about a relationship there in a renegotiation or any negotiation, right? And nobody wins a relationship, do they? I have a friend who talks about negotiation. She's an expert. And that's her approach, and I so love it. I so love it because it's so true. You don't win a relationship. You nurture it, right? And then pull it all together. And guess what? When you assign numbers to all of those things, pretty soon you got a budget. It's so cool. And then you get Emmett, my other buddy. He sings everything is awesome, because it is when you have a budget. Because what can you do with it? Well, you can measure and manage with it, right? You can measure. manage. And we manage what's important to us, don't we? And we measure what's important to us. We reassess and we learn, right? Because we look back and go, oh, damn, woulda, coulda, shoulda. What should that number have been? I was half of what it should have been. Okay, well, next time you do it, double it from what you had before. You question expenses. It's like, damn, that thing's been on autopilot. Who has those little subscriptions that are for $3 a month or something, right? We have to go back and reassess those things, right? It's like, oh shit, I'm not even using that anymore. I got to get rid of that, right? Every once in a while. And you know what? You can do that in your personal life. Forget, it's not just business life, right? We have it's like, oh man, I haven't used that for years. What's that doing there still? Yeah. Thought I canceled that. No, it's still there, right? Still coming out of your checking account, still hitting your credit card. Better, faster decisions when we have a budget, right? We can look at a budget and go, yep, I'm on track. Cool. That's what my number is going to be. Or we can say, yep, nope, we're about 25% lower than we need to be. Or we're blowing the doors off. We're 25% ahead, right? Ooh. We got some pretty good decisions based on that because we've got that document already done, right? And we put a lot of thought into it, right? We got a lot of horsepower up here. We put a lot of thought into that. So there's got to be something good that comes out of that, right? It's a good decision-making tool. We can respond to the unexpected. Oh, COVID. COVID put the stop on a lot of things, right? Or prices went up, right? Now we're dealing with the, supply chains are all effed up. Woo. So, that being the case, what do we need to do? There's some things that, we need to tweak. We need to tweak some numbers, but we've got a plan that we can adjust. And we can update it and use it for forecasts. Forecasts are kind of interims, right? You look at it mid-year, quarterly, whatnot, update it a little bit, tweak it. It's all good. And then everything is awesome. So just to recap, now I can show it to you graphically. It's a cycle. And these are just very high level things, right? Measure, monitor, analyze, course correct, and coach. You can coach yourself, you can coach your team on what to do, how to do it, what to do differently. So in measuring, who's heard? What gets measured gets managed. Anybody? Peter Drucker said that once upon a time, probably in the 80s, because it was a great decade. And we measure what's important, right? That's what we do. Oops, I'm sorry. Went too fast. Then we communicate it to the organization, right? If we have an organization, we get them all on board. Then we do some monitoring, all right? So monitoring in my language to a CFO is, what are we paying attention to on a regular basis, right? What is important to the group, right? What is important to our organization that we keep track of? Is it gross profit? Is it top line? Is it expenses? Is it revenue per employee? What does that look like? Then we compare it to targets and benchmarks. And then we put our analyzing hat on, which is not dissimilar to this one. We put that hat on and we say, hey, do we notice anything? Get analytical with it. Are there any trends coming up? Trends usually 3 in a row, right? 2 are just 2 points. 1, can't even tell, right? 1 month you can't tell. 2 months, pay attention to it. 3 months in a row, could be a trend. You might want to take action on it. Because that's when we ask why, right? If we see that kind of trend, then we ask why. and where are we off to our benchmark, right? And then we try to figure out what the heck happened, what's the cause, because it's important. It's important to the next step, right? Course correct. What do? We fix it. Can we fix it? Maybe not. I say practice abstinence. That means don't do it. Don't do it. Whatever it was causing that problem, don't do it, right? Sometimes it's self-inflicted. Let's stop doing that. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit of trial and error to figure out exactly what the cause is, because we don't really know for a fact, but we'll try some things and see if that fixes it. Then we look at coaching, kind of internalizing it, working with our staff, working with our peeps. Explain the changes to the employees. Maybe they need to be aware of something. Maybe they're the root cause. Ruh-roh. Explain why it's important. You want them on your side, right? We all need to be rowing the boat together. You don't want somebody rowing against you, then you just row the boat in a circle. That's no good. And then encourage empowerment, right? Empower the team. It's awesome to have a whole team go in the same place you're going, right? We talked a little bit about friction before. We don't want friction. We don't want people going against us, going against the flow. And that's what I had. Oh, the last thing I had for you is, and it's not on my slide, but I thought of it afterwards, is 3 truths for entrepreneurs, according to Patty. This is the world according to Patty. But 3 truths that I want to share with you that I found true is you have to lean in. And by saying that, I mean there are sometimes you have to get uncomfortable, because that's the only way we can change, right? We have talking about mindset. We need to lean in. The second thing, I want you to trust the process. There have been a lot of people talking, presenting up here the last couple of days. There's a lot of concepts here. But you know what? The only way you're going to be able to do that is you got to trust the process. And the last thing you need to do for you is you all need to be you. You need to be authentic. You can't be each of us. You can't be Larry. You can't be me. You can't be Eli. You just can't. You can't be us. But you can be you. And you can be the best freaking version of you that there ever was. And we're all here because we're all trying to up level, right? We're trying to level up. And that's what we want. So thank you very much. And I'll take questions from any and all of you. Question?
What's your definition of wealth?
I love that. I've heard people talk about that, and it's a little less quantitative than it is qualitative. Wealth is what's left after the money runs out. You like it? I'm smarter than you think I am.
Everyone is.
No. Does that help you? It's not a number, and I don't have a number answer for you, but honestly, that's me, and that's from my heart, because I truly believe that, because each of you has wealth. Now, how do you increase that wealth? And you put it to good use, right? We put this to use. Yes. They call me a money finder. Yes. because I find people money. I can find it inside their business. I can look
Okay.
at their numbers and find where money is hiding out that needs to be let loose. Right? We need to convert it to cash because it's not doing anything in their business. It's not productive. Okay? And it could be used for other things. I can also find people money that other people aren't thinking about. So it's resources, it's cash in their business, higher profitability, maybe, all of those things. Yes.
So in your years of doing this, let's say for a small business under $5 million a year, what's the most common mistake most people make? And what would you, in your opinion, what would you encourage them to do? Like, what do you see on a regular basis?
Yeah, what I see a lot of is people really not understanding what the true profitability is in their business or where it comes from. What's the most profitable area of your business, right? There's a lot of people who don't know if they sell one more dollar of something, what's the most profitable next dollar I should sell, right? Is it a product or service, whatnot in their business? They don't know that. They don't know the answer to that question. So if you were to put, say, resources against that, either people resources, money resources, which are usually the same, unless people work for you voluntarily. If you put effort against that, where should you be focusing in your business to immediately increase the profitability of your business? I see that a lot. Not everybody knows what that is in their own business. They know what gets them the most top line money, but not necessarily what gets them the most profit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any more? Oh, yep, more.
Do you work on a retainer, or how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, I have some business cards in the back. I have some Post-it notes if there's any still in the back there. Please help yourself. That was a weirdly worded question, but say that again.
I wanted to see how people could get in touch with you. Are you on a retainer, or do you charge by the hour?
I never charge by the hour. Ask Larry. It's a monthly fixed fee for a set of services. So we work really, really hard to get you whatever that is. So it's not like, sorry, what's your name? Michael. So Michael called me and we spent 10 minutes on the phone. I need to track that because I have to send him a bill for 10 minutes. No, we don't do that. You pay a monthly fixed fee and you get a set of agreed upon services and then some. So if you need help with whatever, we're going to be there for you. We work side by side with our clients. We partner with them. Larry is investor schooling as a client.
We're clients.
Yes.
Yes. You know how much money she found me? Enough to pay her every month.
And that's really important.
I couldn't resist. I just couldn't resist.
It's okay.
All right, so what do you guys think of Patty?